Hi, I'm Denise, and it's great to have you back at Inside the Mind Meditations for Part 17, Stage 2 of the Fundamentals of Physical and Mental Relaxation. And keep in mind, we add a new podcast each week. So if you're new or starting here, since this is a progressive process, it would be wise to start at least with the first meditation as found in podcast 2. And remember not to operate machinery or drive while meditating. And just a note before we begin regarding the audio interference of the mantras, as you chant with me, it won't be noticed. The mantras are posted in the notes below the podcast for your convenience. And one other thing, it's always good before beginning meditation to take a couple minutes to check in with self and review the day's events, assigning one word and no more than three to each task and completing the overview in less than a minute or two if possible. And if we feel stressed about tomorrow, to do the same with that. What we have to do or make a list of it. And this way the mind is freed. Just as well, such practice improves the memory of events. And since we're trying for paramita meditation, perhaps include that on both lists and whether you actually did it or not, or intend to do it to further reinforce the intention. So it might look like paramita done. No, forgot about that. Try again tomorrow. And remember, trying to do something on your own is the first part of doing anything successfully, as a journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. And while we're on this journey, it's really important to choose what we hold in our hearts, as well as to solve and dissipate those things we do not wish to carry, which we become better with as we practice meditation and eventually become so aware in our body scans we can feel stagnant or frozen energy all the way to the core of our bodies and even on the outside. And dissolving those energies and releasing this is called cleansing the aura, and is actually good to do many times during the day, which you will eventually be able to do in your paramita. And still, as we advance in still meditation and also the paramita, you'll be able to do this while active. And it is always good to take time for concentrated meditation each day, because that's where we gain our training and our strength. Regarding what energy we hold in our hearts, one of the things we generally forget to put there for various reasons is beauty, although we yearn for it. There are many reasons for doing that, all of them shared experiences. A lot of times we simply feel blocked from holding great things in our heart because of peripheral energies we carry, and many of those are thrust upon us. Empaths have a tendency to carry things when they don't know how to release them beyond the superficial, um, and the baggage that empaths can pick up from the outside world can be so overwhelming that often they sequester themselves out of need, because they don't know how to do anything else. But there is really no reason to do that when we can strengthen ourselves instead. And regardless of the reasons why we sequester ourselves or carry that unwanted baggage that just seems to stick to us and won't let go and ultimately blocks us from beauty, we must remember the truth. And that is, those who deprive themselves are one with deprivation. Therefore, if we deprive ourselves of looking with much appreciation upon beauty, or for showing it, or for possessing its qualities as it radiates from our hearts, we will pine for it but not have it. And the more we are blocked from it, the more fearful our lives become, and the more we are overwhelmed by external energies. All of this may make sense, but let's go into it a bit deeply more, with the simplicity of beauty. Consider, if I show you beauty, will you see it, hear it, feel it? Know it? Will you be it? Or will it just become something you accept and then reject for whatever reason, but pine for once it fades before blind eyes? Or will it slip by unnoticed, though you were surrounded with it every day of your life and never saw it? Or if you do see it, will you turn away from it in shame because it shows you what you are not yet, but could be with just a bit of effort? Or will you despise it for another reason, shrink back from it because you're afraid of what people will do to you if you hold it? And if you take it, will you corrupt it with your desires, judgments, and abuse it, or lose it to your insecurities? Or will you allow it to be as it is in its innocence and cherish it for its purity until it becomes a part of you? Will you allow that to be yours? And those who know the answer to all those questions or are just learning them, I cherish that you are here, as those are all questions we are all faced with at one time or another in our lives. And just when we think we have resolved them, they come again at a deeper level, and we gain even more understanding. And all those things and words have deeper meaning than we know. And every one of those things is a shared experience. But we should know when we turn away from beauty or abuse it or block from it, we turn away from that which resides within ourselves, as we reject those things precious within us first, just as we reject them from another source, especially when we are afraid to own them. So just as we begin to cleanse ourselves of unwanted energies through meditation, I give you the seeds of beauty today. The goal is for you to consciously plant them within your heart and tend to them every day until you recognize when you are away from beauty the moment it is lost inside of yourself for whatever reason. So add courage of beauty to your paramita and your plans and overview, because it takes a great deal of courage to hold beauty and cultivate it in the heart. And make the second challenge to be neutral in the beauty you hold in your heart. Keep it in your heart and out of your head where ego can run wild with it. If ego picks it up, observe the mind and thoughts around it, and remember, you hold the beauty simply as a blessing and nothing more. And this blessing is rightfully yours. And this is really important because most empaths have had their beauty tromped on to the point that many are afraid to hold it for fear they'll be abused for it. So if you're afraid to hold it, I would suggest two podcast libraries. One is the Little Shaman Healing, and the other is Permission to Exist. And I'll leave the links for them in my notes should you need them. I have found both of those to be tremendous in their wisdom and understanding and insights. Other than that, what is beauty? Beauty is love, appreciation, and gratitude in its purest form. And real beauty is everlasting and does not fade, even if it is not noticed by others. That's why those who hold it are so powerful, powerful enough to make others strike against them. But with the information provided by the Little Shaman Healing and the Permission to Exist libraries, until you're ready to deal with those who are destructive, you'll learn to identify those you should stay away from, and thus ultimately surround yourself with those you can trust simply through the process of elimination. And the power of observation and command of self really improves the quality of life and allows us to do what we need to do in the most kind ways possible. So let's celebrate your beautiful power today as you prepare in this journey to rise like the phoenix, letting go of all things not necessary. So I am so grateful to offer part of the tools you need to do that with. Mostly because the more strong empaths we have out and about rather than shut in, the better off we'll all be. So that you are here today is just totally amazing. And sincerely, I thank you. Though we are still in the basics of meditation, we are advancing rapidly and entering stages many will never know or be introduced to. So I would strongly suggest, if you have not practiced meditation prior to this, or even if you have not started at the beginning, that you go back to the library and begin with at least podcast 2, as it is very important to have experience with the basics as you advance in meditation. And just as well, if this is becoming too complicated too rapidly, I would suggest repeating some of the earlier meditations until you're ready to move on. And don't worry if you have to repeat one or many of these podcasts many times before you feel ready to move on. That's normal. For your convenience, the link for Inside the Mind Meditations library is also in my notes. And now, please lay flat on your back with your spine straight, hands beside the hips and palms up, and allow your eyes to rest comfortably as you settle in and make any last-minute adjustments for physical comfort. And become aware of your points of contact. And now your body as a whole. And once settled, allow your mind to wander, or review the day's events, or rehearse for future events, or to conclude any thoughts you may have. And observe your thoughts without judgment while remaining aware of the body. And notice the feelings these thoughts create in the body. Pleasant, not pleasant, or neutral. And as you notice how those thoughts and feelings feel in the body, become aware of where they are attached to. And notice, are the thoughts and feelings leaving the body feeling pleasant, not pleasant, or neutral? And if a particular thought or feeling persists, label it with one word, and then determine if it is a shared or unique experience, and return to the focus of the overview of the body. And notice the energy these thoughts and feelings create within the body without judgment. Simply observe. And also notice the areas of the body that are in complete comfort and not attached to any emotion or feeling. And opening your eyes softly, Return your focus to your surroundings and look around the room so that you become entirely aware of your space. And notice the objects within and any sounds. And as you become aware of your surroundings, begin deep circular breathing at 100% capacity for 10 breaths, with each inhale counting as 1 and each exhale counting as the next. Inhale through the nose, feeling the entire stomach, and then expand the breath into the chest, counting as you go. And exhale through the mouth, allowing the breath to relieve the body, allowing it to collapse. And then inhale again. And after 10 breaths, with each inhale and exhale counting as 1, return to soft breath. And with the next breath, close your eyes, look up and out through your third eye, activating the pituitary gland by crossing the eyes as you look out into the distance, and relax the breath to a soft, natural breath. And allow the body to breathe while remaining aware of the body and the breath, but retaining focus on the third eye. And if the stress is too great on your eyes, look off in the distance a little further where it's easier to retain focus on the third eye without stress on the eyes, but remain aware of the body and the breath as you do this. And as you do these things, become aware of the energetic field of the body. And don't worry if you cannot feel it now, because sooner or later you will. And whether you are or not, it's good to remain in a sense of awe and keep that held in our heart of the body's miraculous wonders within. And now, while still lying on your back, let's activate our chi by rubbing the palms of our hands together At the same time, we rub the soles of our feet together. And having done that, please sit with the spine straight and move into prayer pose with 5 pounds of pressure as the palms press against each other, and another 5 as we press the sides of our thumbs into our breastbone, fingers angled out from the body 60 degrees, while the sides of the thumbs are secure into our breastbone or heart center. And if you don't know how to do this, please start at the beginning with podcast 2. And now let's activate our thyroid by crossing the eyes and staring at the tip of our nose while closing our eyes 9/10 of the way. And now we will tune into the divine wisdom with the mantra of Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. 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 Now, while still in prayer pose and while still activating the thyroid, set your intention with great, sincere feeling from your heart. And this time, as you set your intention, I want you to feel all the love you have in your heart for those you ask for and also for yourself. And if you have to, visualize them as you set your intention. But if you can, move through feeling only. And then only hold your great feeling of love for them in your heart as you would yourself, as you state their name and your intention. And that said, I would like you to start with, I ask this for myself and for whomever else, and also for the entire universe. And then feel your intention deeply within the heart while still staying in prayer pose. And still in prayer pose, let's conclude with the protection prayer, which is always wise as we further meditation. And its words are, Ad Guray Nameh, Jagot, Guray Nameh, Saat, Guray Nameh, Cidy, Daveigh, Nameh. Ad Guray Nameh, Jagot, Guray Nameh, Saat, Guray Nameh, Cidy, Daveigh, Nameh. Guray Nameh, Jagot, Guray Nameh, Saat, Guray Nameh, Cidy, Daveigh, Nameh. Gudray, Nameh, Jagot, Gudray, Nameh, Saat, Gudray, Nameh, Cidy, Daveigh, Nameh. And now give great gratitude through great feeling from the heart. And while holding that gratitude in your heart, lay down again with your spine straight and feel the body settle in while placing your hands in a comfortable position. And moving to 70% capacity, let's begin internal breathing. Please close your eyes softly and place the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth at the hard palate, located right behind the teeth, in a very relaxed manner, and relax all the muscles in your face. And while keeping the tip of the tongue on the hard palate, breathe in and out through the nose at 70% capacity, and become progressively aware of the breath as it moves from the tip of the nose in stages through the center of the body, as though through a tube, all the way to the second chakra. And as you become aware of the breath inside the nose and within the body, follow the sensation of the breath in stages. Feel the breath from the tip of the nose as it moves through the nose, noticing the feeling of the nose hairs as the breath glides over them. Allow the breath to pass through the nose and out the nose. And becoming progressively aware of the breath in stages, follow the breath from your nose to the back of the throat. And now follow it from the tip of the nose to the back of the throat and into the lungs without expanding the chest, and keeping the breath at 70%. And following the same pattern of following the breath from the nose to the throat to the lungs, follow the breath now into the solar plexus. And this time, follow the breath through the nose, the back of the throat, the lungs, solar plexus, and into the navel. And following the flow from the tip of the nose, throat, lungs, navel, follow the breath into the second chakra, located between the navel and the crest of the pelvis. And continue breathing in and out with the tip of the tongue relaxed on the hard palate, face relaxed, inhaling through the nose at 70% and following the breath through the body to the second chakra, and then exhale through the nose at 70%. And do this for 10 full breaths with each inhale and each exhale counting as one breath. And when you have reached 10 breaths, move into soft breath, where there is no lapse in time between the inhale and the exhale. And with the next breath, return to natural breath, breathing in and out through the nose while placing your hands over the pelvic region or on the body, wherever you can most comfortably feel the rise and the fall of the breath. And now, turn your attention to the body, and without judgment, observe. Does the body feel heavy or light, tense or at ease? Feel the weight of the body as it sinks onto the surface you are lying on. And observe the points of contact for the head, shoulders, back, hips, arms and hands, legs and feet. And now feel them settle in comfortably, noticing the breath has returned to normal. And now turn the attention to the body, letting the points that want attention guide you. And notice the areas of discomfort. And as you notice the areas of discomfort within the body, realize that they are just frozen energy manifesting in form in the body. And now I want you to do something a bit differently, and that is to focus on those areas through feeling. Do not visualize the areas. Simply feel them with great love for your body's miraculous ability to heal. And as you feel them, stay focused on the areas until they dissipate and melt in the warmth of your love. Feel as you would a piece of ice in a frying pan. First, the frozen energy melts from the outward in and becomes water in the pan, and then sizzles and evaporates, leaving the pan in steam. As this energy dissipates from your body in the same way. And without visualization, only feeling, allow the frozen areas of the body to dissipate and leave the body. And stay focused on the energy as it leaves and moves 2 feet out and away from the body. And if one area calls for attention most, give your attention to that area. And if there are no areas of physical tension within the body, then allow that to happen with any negative feelings you have as well. Feel where they are attached to the body and allow them to melt, turn to steam, dissipate, and leave the body. And if the mind interrupts, note, thinking or feeling, pleasant, not pleasant, or neutral. If you have to label a thought or feeling with one word, then identify it, shared or unique experience, and then return your focus to the body. And if all is at peace within the body, simply become aware of the body deeply within, all the way to the core, and also the energy field surrounding it. And if you drift away, return to it, remaining aware of the breath, and allow the energy to disperse through the breath of the body. And if you're finished with dispersing energies now, let's do a full body scan through feeling without visualization, just making note, comfort or discomfort. And if you're not finished dispersing energies, either stay with it or return to it later. Starting with the head and the back of the head, we will begin the scan. And now the brow line and eyes. Ears, cheeks, and nose. Be sure to feel the body all the way into the inside. Mouth and jaw. Noting areas of tension and ease, and allowing space to be made for balance. Throat and neck. Shoulders, front and back. And scanning now from the upper arms to the elbows. And lower arms to wrists. Hands and fingertips. Allowing all to relax. And scan the chest now and upper back, upper abdomen and mid-back. Lower abdomen and lower back. Pelvic region and tailbone. And hips. Scan now from the top of the thighs to the knees, both front and back. And lower legs to the ankles. And feet. And finally the toes. And if you felt any frozen areas still within the body or lodged within the first two bodies outside of the physical, take a moment now and allow that energy to to disperse. Otherwise, just focus on the body and feel it as a whole. And now focus more deeply on the breath as you allow the body to restore itself and heal. And count each inhale and each exhale as one breath. Count 1 to 10 until you reach 10 and begin again. And as you do this, remain aware of the body. And now, without counting, but while keeping focus on the natural breath, please allow the mind its freedom to do as it will. remember, 40 days to break a habit, 90 days to make a new one, and 1,000 days of practice for that habit to become who we are. Good habits are important, as studies show we revert to habit when slightly stressed. So please begin by practicing your paramita in active living, meaning to check in with the body and breath upon rising, and holding focus throughout the day while observing the mind and the emotions created, as we do during meditation. And be aware of challenging situations before you move into them. Ground yourself and prepare through focus on breath and body and observation in mind. And also notice how things feel in the body. Doing this will allow awareness to begin. You might not yet be prepared to do anything just yet when confronted with insanity, but you will not make things worse by becoming overwhelmed by the mind and resistance to it. And remember, as you observe yourself and others without judgment, to recognize thoughts or feelings, pleasant, not pleasant, or neutral. Label thoughts with one word and decide if they are a shared or unique experience. And don't worry if you forget, as long as you remember to set the intention first thing in the morning as you get into your body and then your surroundings, and make a concerted effort to focus on the breath while watching the mind and heart. Eventually, you'll remember. And personally, I like to lie on my left side in the morning while I do these things before I rise, because it not only helps wake one up, but it also helps the body prepare for elimination. And since it works so well, when I wake up a couple of hours before I have to rise, I turn to my left side anyway while going back to sleep. However, when I go to bed at night to go to sleep, I lie on my right side, as that prepares the body for sleep and slows digestion, so we don't digest our esophagus while we sleep and ultimately end up with a hiatal hernia. And now you may choose to go to sleep or be on with your day. And if you wish to go to sleep, if you are able, please comfortably turn your head to the right and drift off to the sound of my voice after giving gratitude for the day and for tomorrow and all week long. And if you wish to rise, please turn your head to the left and become aware of your body, your fingers and toes, hands and feet, arms and legs, tummy and torso, shoulders, back, neck, face and head, and finally your body as a whole. And note, does the body feel heavy or light, relaxed or tense? And now recognize your points of contact and become aware of the sounds around you. Open your eyes and become aware of your surroundings, the things you see and hear. And after giving gratitude for the day, tomorrow, and all week long, while holding the feeling of joy in your heart, you may rise when you are ready. And it's great to see you again. And we'll post a new meditation about once a week. Please check back with us and feel free to subscribe to our channel. We'd love to have you with us. As well, your comments are always appreciated. And good day or night, and I hope to see you again soon.